Special event alert.
I was late because my daughter's hamster was in labor, which is excuse number 92 for being late for Changeover, your weekly space news and variety show. I'm Marty Smith, your host, and I'm joined by our man in the closet, Jake Wall.
That probably is a legitimate
excuse
somebody gave out.
Yeah.
Because it's so unreal.
But it's also real if you know the person and be like, oh, I get it. Yeah, you wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Our
Animal
puzzle
lover.
princess, Anna Mondragon.
Hello. What?
And our legendary Mr. History, Eric Peratt.
What's up, troops? This is going to be very educational tonight. I can see that. Very
We got a
educational.
story for you. That's right.
Very educational.
We're here
got
to
a
bring you the
preview?
latest.
You got a preview of the 2025 thongs?
Oh, now you got paid.
Mr. History thongs?
That's not for free.
No, man. They're not even on the. They're not on the floor yet. We're still designing.
Oh, I thought you meant they're not even on the floor yet.
Oh no. Well, that too. Told you, educational.
So take your seats, get informed, and have a laugh as we present Late for Changeover.
Oh.
That intro's going to go wow.
I thought that would never end.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Well, Jake knows better, but he was just doing that on purpose, probably.
Yeah, because Marty never leaves voice. He never leaves dead space.
Well, no,
Do you?
we're radio show here, man. Dead space is dead, right? Got 96 viewers on YouTube who expect constant entertainment.
Yep.
We got 96. That's a record.
Hell yeah.
96 subscribers, baby. So
Wow.
No thanks to you, Jeannie. That's my mother.
Oh.
but your sister always likes the podcast. Your sister
My Aunt
always
Carla.
does.
That's my Aunt
She
Carla.
does. Oh, your aunt. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
She goes,
She
you
always
really
likes it.
need. Yeah, she goes, you really need to maybe think about controlling your mouth. I'm like, it's not going to happen at this age.
Now she
That's not
just
what this is
egged you
about.
on. She just egged you on.
Oh,
Oh, I do. Do I?
fornicate that idea. Whoa. Anna's like, oh.
Don't worry, Chief's not watching. Don't worry.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Well, it's good to see you all here. Another week down. Couple of weeks we'll all be off.
Dude, today is April Fool's.
I know.
Yes, it is.
What?
Mhm.
If we had any creativity, we would have done something. But
Something.
I don't know.
It seems
Should've
like a
showed
lot of work.
Jake, my thumb.
It is a lot of work. Yeah, it is a lot of work.
You should have bought some of those beige granny panties and wrote Mr. History, like full massive fun on the back.
And I just fold it up to make it a thong. Roll it
Yeah,
up.
exactly.
You could have even actually spelled out Mister with all that,
Yeah.
with all that real estate you had back then.
Yep. Yeah. These are flying off the shelf down in Florida at the Palm retirement villages.
Mr. Panties.
Gee,
There's one in every mobile home. Let me tell you. Those things fly about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So,
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Blue plate special.
Before bedtime.
All right. Well, let's give the people what they want, right? Let's get to the news, shall we? So maybe with Boeing Starliner, and its indubitable return to Earth, there seems like there may be some hope for Starliner to fly once again after all. All right. I found this story. I don't know what this website is, but it's funny. It's funny, not intending to be funny. It's just funny the way they write their articles. So I'll read as much of it as I can. This is from the Register Don't know where it's from, but it's called the register.com.
Uh-oh.
And that's the headline.
And it does say science in the corner, so you know
Yeah, it
it's
does.
all facts.
It's official.
Science. Here's some
But-
bullshit.
The headline they put was Boeing Starliner may fly again,
Perfect.
pending fixes to literally everything.
Everything.
Oh my goodness.
Everything.
It's like a 50-50.
Yeah.
50%
Uh,
yes, 50% no.
Could fly, probably not.
NASA says Boeing Starliner dubbed the Calamity Capsule. I don't know where that was dubbed at, but that's great. It could fly again, but not before the end of 2025 or the start of 2026. The CST-100 Starliner capsule returned to Earth last year with its tail between its legs. It was the capsule's
man.
first crewed mission, but the flight was dogged with issues, including problems with thrusters. Managers eventually decided that the safest course of action was to leave the crew on the International Space Station. The vehicle made a successful landing without a crew, and in the months since, NASA and Boeing tried to work out what went wrong and how to fix it. According to NASA, more than 70% of flight observations and flight anomalies have been closed. More than 70%.
Wow.
Yeah.
How about that?
That's cool.
Don't it sound like we're talking about quarterbacks who were a bust. You know, they were
Yeah.
supposed to be fucking great. Come into the
Right.
league, score a bunch of stuff. Well, Starliner's supposed to be great. Oh, sorry.
Aw.
Yeah, but
We're gonna
they're
see you today.
they're almost 2/3 of the way of fixing it.
Yeah,
Right.
all the backup quarterbacks said that too.
Well,
We're
that's true.
almost fixed.
That's true. They might have to sell him off and sell Starliner off in free agency to some
Yeah.
startup.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Indian Space System was like, hey, look what we bought. It was cheap.
We can take it that extra 30% and get it right in the air.
We got it on Temu. However, the space agency noticed the major in-flight propulsion system anomalies Starliner experienced in orbit are expected to remain open further into 2025. Neither NASA nor Boeing responded to a request from the register regarding what that more than 70% actually was. So neither one of them said it.
We
right?
replaced the Velcro. We put some more duct tape on that window. It's good as new.
Yeah.
It's fine.
You want to see us drive it to the launch pad? No windows
No.
blowing off. That's a big check right there.
That's big.
The issues that caused the most consternation during June's crewed missions were related to the thrusters and leaky helium seals. NASA and Boeing are planning a campaign of tests through spring and summer. All of this is aimed towards crew certification of the CST-100 Starliner system. NASA said mission managers are planning for the next Starliner flight to be a crew-capable post-certification mission. Do you want to volunteer to be on that first flight back?
Nope.
I mean, what's the shift differential they pay you to take?
Yeah, not
that
for
flight?
$350 a day.
No.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Get out of here.
Good point.
You get incidentals.
But you're an astronaut.
Your incidental could be your death. So what?
Well,
Yeah.
That's another
Incidentally,
incidental.
you may die.
Yeah, that's not good. Give me more
Uh,
than 350.
The program has already cost Boeing more than $2 billion. And bean counters at the aerospace giant will want to staunch the flow of cash. So they may not, it's still up in the air whether it's going to fly again.
Oof.
Now, this was an update to this story that I saw. NASA and Boeing have both responded to the register's questions. Boeing told the register that it had nothing more to share at this time. And NASA spokesman directed us to Boeing for the in-flight anomalies list, quote, since it's their spacecraft. So Boeing said nothing, and NASA said, talk to those guys.
Yeah.
Talk to the guys that are saying nothing.
Because we have no idea how we're going to fix the 30% that we have left.
No.
Haven't got
none,
a clue.
None.
We're done.
That's,
Really kind
that's
of
on
on
those
those guys.
yeah, that's on those guys. So maybe some frustrated responses, but they don't want to talk about it.
No
So
doubt.
good on the register for getting that story. God knows if it's going to fly again. Didn't they just certify ULA to be another carrier? I think
Oh,
they just
really?
said, yeah,
I don't know.
ULA will be another carrier like SpaceX.
That
So
United
that's cool.
launch.
Yeah. Which was kind of out of the running there for a little while. But
What
it's
happened
back
to
in
the,
now. It's back
the
in.
older dude, Virgin guy?
Virgin
Oh,
Records.
yeah. What's that guy's name?
Yeah, because
Damn.
he was all about it for a little while. And you heard
Well,
a
it
lot
was
about him.
Virgin. It was what's his name?
Yeah, silver-haired dude,
The Blue Origin guy
Blue Origin.
and Elon were taking people up, right? And I can't. What is that guy's name? I can see him clear as day.
Man.
Looks like a
Yeah,
'70s
because he had that.
rock star.
He also developed that funky-looking airplane that flew real high and
Oh yeah.
bits and everything.
With the huge wings and all that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That's right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nobody's looking it up. Nobody's.
Richard
okay.
Branson.
There
Yeah.
you go, Richard
That's him.
Branson. I don't know. Maybe it got too expensive for him. I don't know.
Yeah.
You totally looked that up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you sounded so
Oh,
confident.
100%. I couldn't remember his first name at all. I was like, I got nothing.
But they launched that mission yesterday, the polar mission. So
Oh, that's cool.
and they launched it out of the Cape. It flew like east and then turned south. Crazy.
Huh.
And they'll be
Yeah,
up there
that's
for like 3 days, four crew members. So
They're
I don't know
looking-
why they're going polar.
they're
Polar,
looking for
Leo
Santa
orbit.
Claus.
So that's going to be low orbit, just 3 days, right? Because it's
Yeah.
short. Okay.
So that's,
Low.
but I think there was another billionaire involved in that one too. So
They'll run around the Earth a couple days.
yeah.
Good.
Anyway. All right. So I don't know if we covered this. I think we talked about it. You know, when Trump came out and said, "Hey, well, I want an Iron Dome for the United States, for America." Well, he
Yeah.
changed that name to Golden Dome. Did you know
This is
that?
a really cool concept.
Yeah, he changed the name to Golden Dome. So the Golden Dome concept, now all these contractors are trying to get in on it. And
Lots
from
of money there.
spacenews.com, here's the latest concept of how they're going to fulfill the Golden Dome defense shield. So Booz Allen unveils Brilliant Swarms satellite concept for missile defense.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
Sounds real cool.
Yeah.
The technology and consulting firm Booz Allen Hamilton unveiled a concept for a mega constellation of satellites designed to fill the Trump administration's Golden Dome vision for a comprehensive missile defense shield to protect the United States. The concept, dubbed Brilliant Swarms. Now listen to the numbers of this thing. Would consist of up to 2,000 small satellites operating as an interconnected network powered by AI and machine learning technology. Chris Bogdan,
Be like,
they're talking to each other, they're sensing, they're doing everything. Chris Bogdan, a Booz Allen executive vice president and head of the company's space business, told reporters on March 27, unlike today's ground-based single-shot interceptors, Brilliant Swarms delivers a multi-shot capability to defeat missile launchers during the boost, ascent, and early mid-course phases of flight.
Nice.
So they got to get those suckers
Early.
right after launch. Yeah, right after
early.
launch. The satellites would serve dual purposes as both detection systems and kill vehicles that would deorbit, target, and physically slam into threats without requiring missiles in
so
space.
cool.
It's all kinetic. So I can only imagine this missiles going up, and then like 5 of them are like, "Burp," and just aim
So-
and fire their boots.
You guys
at it.
may have a better clue than me. You knock down an ICBM with whatever,
Yeah,
What's-
an interceptor,
an interceptor of some sort, right?
right?
King
What-
Titan.
What does it do? Does it just fall out of the sky, or does it blow up and create falling debris? Does it create an explosion? Does it create
So
nuclear
there's
fallout?
going to be, it depends on the payload,
Type of
right?
ICBM? Okay.
Yeah, but there's definitely going to be at least debris that
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
potentially could stay on orbit and circle out, and then eventually, if it's low enough in, it'll get pulled back into the atmosphere.
Or burns,
However, it's
right?
like a
Burns up.
nuke. If it's a nuke and it goes off, that we've done that experiment of a high altitude nuclear
Yeah.
explosion. Was it
That
Starfish
used to
Prime?
be
Yeah.
used to be the defense of North America.
Yeah, but we launched a couple of those nukes into space
Yeah.
before, low altitude,
Right.
and it
right.
swole the atmosphere so much that it created so much drag that like 60% of everything that was up there was pulled back down within a year and a half.
Really?
Ooh.
Yeah,
Okay.
dude.
It's
Like
a huge
UK just had launched their first. They were like just getting in the space race. They had just
Yeah.
launched their first satellite, and they're like, "Hell yeah, we're awesome!" And then we're over there in Nevada launching nukes into space, going, "What the fuck will this do?" And so and then it just ballooned our atmosphere
Right.
with
Right.
all that radiation and all that reaction that it created so much drag that it pulled back
That's nuts,
a
man.
ton of our satellites
Yeah,
and
that's crazy.
Russian satellites and UK's first satellite.
Like, hey,
Like,
oh,
it was such a really bad idea that we, during the height of the Cold War, we handed over all of our data to
Yeah.
Russia. We were like, please don't do this.
yeah.
This was not.
I've heard that story too. Yeah, I've heard that.
So
story.
what's the threat to the ground, to us, the planet? Any threat coming from up there down?
I mean, those warheads are meant to re-enter, so they can technically
Well,
survive
but
re-entry.
we're talking here about connecting real early after launch, maybe even before they hit space.
Yeah.
What if it gets
Yeah.
knocked down before it hits that? I'm just
Well,
curious.
Well, there's definitely going to be debris coming down, right?
Yeah.
If we deconflict rocket bodies coming back,
yeah.
there's definitely going to be some issues there.
Yeah, it's not like a small car.
No, I mean, you never know. It might burn up in the
maybe.
atmosphere. It might
Yeah, depending
just
on the
make it back
height,
down.
depending on what it was. But I think the ground-based missile interceptors, I think that was all designed to be kinetic kills. I think
Yeah,
because
those
they used
were-
to say hitting a bullet with a bullet. That was the concept, and that's why
Okay.
they had so many trouble. And these are kinetic also, supposedly.
in that case, Eric, in the missile on missile thing, that debris falls harmlessly over Canada.
Oh yeah, easy. Right.
We're going to send it to our friends up north.
No, literally, that's
Yeah.
if you think about it, we're launching intercepts from the west coast of the U.S. and Alaska because the missiles are going over the poles.
That's the shortest
Oh,
route.
I
If
that's
we
the
connect
shortest
with
route.
them,
Right.
if we
Okay.
connect with them, where
Where
are
are
the
they gonna
missiles
go?
coming down?
I'm tracking.
Right in our
coming down.
51st state.
I'm tracking.
Harmlessly into Canada.
I was thinking that they would try to intercept them over like a large body of water, like the ocean,
Yeah.
but I didn't consider Yeah.
Well, but
Mhm.
even their their launch sites. Yeah, you remember the launch
Yeah.
sites, and they're not gonna. Now they could, I suppose, but now they got a whole new technology over there anyway.
Mhm.
Anyway, let's see. According to Troy Obering, senior advisor Booz Allen, a former director of the Missile Defense Agency, the interceptor satellites would contain no explosives, use only kinetic energy to destroy targets. Despite being roughly the size of a small refrigerator, each satellite could serve as a powerful interceptor because it would fly at such high speeds that the kinetic energy alone would destroy the target missile. He noted that approximately 40% of a satellite would burn up upon re-entering the atmosphere, with about 10% potentially reaching the ground as debris.
Okay.
10% plus the dead rocket that it just shot with the nuclear warhead on it.
Warhead on it. Yeah.
The proposed architecture would include 1,000 to 2,000 satellites arranged in 20 orbital planes with 100 satellites per plane in polar orbits at 300 to 600 kilometers altitude. Each satellite would weigh between 40 and 80 kilograms, which is roughly 90 to 180 pounds, allowing 100 to be launched simultaneously on a large rocket. 100 of those sons of guns.
Wow.
That's
Jeez.
That's
crazy.
a
It
swarm,
sounds
baby.
really cool though.
Oh, absolutely. Now
It's a swarm.
here comes the cost. Obering said the system could be developed and fielded for approximately $25 billion, significantly less than the $65 billion spent on current missile defense systems focused on threats from North Korea and Iran.
Wow.
Iran. Obering clarified that $25 billion would be for all 2,000 satellites, but the system is scalable, so the cost could be lower. It won't be lower. It's
No.
No,
definitely
never
Always
lower.
could be higher.
Yeah, never lower.
The company has pitched the concept of the Missile Defense Agency and believes it could demonstrate the capability to intercept a cooperative target in orbit within 3 years,
Damn,
with the
that's
ability to intercept multiple uncooperative targets by the 4th year. Full deployment could occur within 5 to 7 years. Just about cancellation time.
cool. Yeah.
What's the difference between a cooperative?
Uh,
Is that like a traditional
I think
Like
you're
us-
right. I think it's
Us shooting out.
it's
target.
it's a straight trajectory.
Yeah, that's
meaning
the trajectory of
uncooperative
azimuth.
is maneuverable. That's what I would guess. But his target's not very cooperative.
These guys are really putting up a fight to get shot
Yeah.
down.
That's
Come
tough.
on.
Jeez.
Obering emphasized that the current missile defense system does not address threats from Russia and China.
Well, then what the hell
Meaning-
good is it?
And I think what they're saying is the maneuverable stuff that those countries are coming up with, our current missile defense has to have just one straight trajectory. No uncooperative missiles allowed. So
Just you better throw a straight arrow.
you better throw a straight arrow. Right. So BAH is off and running, trying to get those Golden Dome dollars.
Tell you what, how do you find someone that goes, let's create a swarm of satellites that will create a defense?
I think these brilliant scientists have had this tucked in their back pocket just waiting. If it's not this, they got something else. They got lasers. They got. Remember that when we were trying to play around with the airborne laser? Remember that airborne laser was going to do?
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, we can't quite carry a battery source big enough to power enough of this laser. They're like, well, you got to keep that laser on it for 30 seconds. They're like,
I guess there's
Do
some
you know
pretty
how fast
creative
this is moving?
out there, man.
this guy's like, fucking won't stand still.
Exactly.
Oh,
So
man.
there's a lot of funky ideas out there, and that's
Yeah.
probably one of them. So, all right, let's get Eric back online. Enough space stuff, right, Eric?
Ooh, not enough space.
So this next story started with this video. I don't know if you saw it on X or not, but here's the video. So that's Defense Secretary Hegseth.
Oh, I thought it was going to be like Biden tripping down the ladder or something.
Yeah.
So it all started with that short video. All this conjecture.
Oh, the
She was
female
at the bottom of the stairs, right?
Female cop.
Yeah, right. So, seeing those females, then everybody went nuts. So, a short video of Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth in a normally unremarkable act of climbing a set of stairs launched a wave of internet speculation this week when it also captured 2 armed guards who looked like they might be assigned to him.
By the
Both-
way, he's the one that said they shouldn't be in combat.
True. Good point.
Oh,
Interesting. Yeah, very good.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
oh
he
my
did. He said it on
gosh.
a podcast.
Is that a
I think,
spite
a year or
move?
so, like they,
Yeah,
I
Is
don't
that
know.
a spite move then?
Could be.
Look
Oh,
what
yeah.
I would do.
Somebody chose those 2 to stand there. That's true. However, the guards wore Air Force flight suits, carried M4 rifles, tactical vests, and both were women. Speculation on the pair ranged from incorrect to ridiculously incorrect. Posters on social media immediately labeled the pair as everything from secret Delta Force operators to undeserving DEI recruits. One internet outlet even called them Hegseth's heavily armed female bodyguards.
Come on.
And
man.
some compared the two guards to the ornamental Amazon guards who Gaddafi used to like. I guess he used to get like busty women around.
So, were they
Yes,
security forces? Were they actually security
I'm
forces?
about to tell you.
Okay.
Don't jump the
Okay.
gun,
Sorry.
Mr.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm so
Okay,
excited.
also-
So there's a close up of those 2. Yeah, go Jake.
No ponytails.
Oh, those are tight buns up in there,
Buns.
right?
Those are vintage. Those are
Yeah.
vintage. Air Force
betting
haircuts, right?
those are security forces.
No.
Because if you'll notice on the front, they've also got laser packs on the front of their weapons
Yeah.
where they can laser target.
All right.
Yeah, that's security forces.
Yeah, if you notice on the front, also
Nobody
they're
else
not
has
knocked up,
lasers.
so they're definitely not security forces.
That's
They're
true.
security forces.
That's a good
All the
point.
security
Well
force
done.
women are
Yeah,
knocked up.
That's true.
No.
That's true. Yeah.
93%.
That's true. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
these are the two that are left over.
I got a higher percentage than the fixes on Starliner.
Wow,
Yeah, exactly.
So bad.
So,
Eric, you know it's true.
some internet people thought that they were Phoenix Raven troops.
Same shit. Security forces.
The
Phoenix Raven troops.
the fact is, the two women were members of a small team from the 55th Security Forces Squadron, which is assigned to guard not Hegseth, but the plane he was flying
Air Force
on,
One or
the
whatever.
Air Force's secret E-4B Doomsday plane.
Oh,
You ever heard of the Doomsday plane?
Never heard of the Doomsday
It's
plane.
otherwise known as the National Airborne Operations Center, or NAOC. It's the NAOC.
it's a flying command post, is what it is.
Yeah.
Flying command post.
And
And they're probably in a restricted area, so there is cops on restricted areas.
I sense that maybe there was a tryout that somebody didn't get a call back to be on the NAOC plane. I don't know. A lot of bitterness
Somebody's
about
bitter.
this detail here. The security detail, which is specifically selected from Air Force security forces at Offutt Air Force Base in Nebraska, flies with the plane everywhere it goes. The rifles and combat gear are standard protocol for the team. They were not assigned to guard Hegseth, but rather fly with the plane to Andrews to pick him up for the trip. Right?
I bet they are Ravens, though.
It says they're not. They're part of the 55th Security Forces at Offutt.
All Ravens are part of a squadron.
They did. It does say that you got to try out to be on the security detail for the plane.
Okay,
and
so it's like a special duty.
A lot of the team are former Phoenix Raven security team members.
Okay,
so there you go. So that's the story behind Hegseth's busty Amazon guard women.
I wonder if he knew that was going down.
What's going on with the busty?
That's
I don't know. I just threw that.
Gaddafi.
No.
Gaddafi literally had very busty, a group of very busty women that guarded him.
You never heard about that, Anna?
No, never.
Yeah, he handpicked them to be security detail.
Oh.
They were all hot. Probably couldn't fire a gun with the shit, but that didn't really matter. So.
Like Austin Powers.
What were the robots called? I can't remember.
It's like that UFC chick that was
Bling.
guarding some guy in Abu Dhabi in the Fast and Furious. Remember?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
same thing.
So they had a couple chicks that were badasses, you know.
So that is interesting. Whoever brought that up, that Hegseth did say that women shouldn't be in combat roles.
Yeah,
that is interesting.
Those two were right there.
It's almost like some Air Force Security Forces squadron commander said, "Watch this."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And watch it
That's a funny move.
Right. And
Check
now they're like, hey, first sergeant, really nice move, man. Right? Okay, so let's move on to all feel a little bit inadequate. Not to the security forces guy, but to the Rangers, right? We all know how tough the Rangers are. And if you're thinking about joining them, this next story will lay out your requirements. And I even made a slide so you could follow along. All right.
That's a tough day at the work office there, buddy.
Airborne Ranger.
Yeah,
Very
Airborne.
Good. The Airborne and Ranger Training Brigade of Fort Benning, Georgia will drop its long-held Day 1 Ranger physical fitness assessment of push-ups, sit-ups, chin-ups, and a 5-mile run for a new 9-event test meant to better mimic the demands of combat, said Brigadier General Phil Kinery, the infantry school leader. The test determines who will continue in the 3-phase, 61-day leadership course that is known for challenging its students to complete combat-focused missions on little sleep and with little food. General Kinery said push-ups and sit-ups are no longer the Army standard. Our new assessment is better aligned with the Army's focus on training functional fitness and is tailored to help our cadre better assess student potential to successfully complete the Ranger course safely. Okay, so this is just to get into Ranger School, remember. Now, I made a slide so you could follow along. Okay, look at this thing. Officials said the new test consists of 2 parts. In the first part, Ranger students have 14 minutes to complete an 800-meter run, 30 dead stop push-ups. Now, I had to look that up. Dead stop push-up is as you go to the ground, your chest has to rest on the ground, and then you push back up. So you got to come to a complete stop.
That's kind of crazy though, because then it takes the pressure off, gives you a break, and you push back up you're stronger.
But you have no momentum. You can't get into that jerking momentum. So 30 dead stop push-ups, 100-meter sprint, then 16 lifts of a 40-pound sandbag onto a 68-inch high platform.
Whoopee-doo.
A 50-meter farmer's carry of 40 pounds in each hand. I think that's like this or over the shoulder. It's not just straight. Maybe it is.
Farmer's carry is just hanging
farmer
straight down.
carry is literally weights at your side, like a ammo can.
Just walking straight.
A 50-meter movement drill, which will include a high crawl and brief sprints, and a second 800-meter run. Now, 800-meter run alone is a suck race because that's right between the sprint and trying to get a pace, and it's so far.
So how many laps is that around a track?
No, 440. Yeah, 2. So 2 laps around the track, sprint, then stop, do 30 push-ups, 30 dead stop push-ups, then go sprint 100 meters, then 16 lifts of a 40-pound sandbag onto a 68-inch high platform, which is my height, 50-meter farmer's carry of 40 pounds, 50-meter movement drill, which is a high crawl and brief sprints, and a second 800-meter run. That all has to be done in combat boots and your uniform. Then,
in between, you're doing regular push-ups before you start the next event.
Then they have them go change into PT gear and do a 4-mile run in less than 32 minutes and finish the test with 6 chin-ups. That seems like an anticlimactic end. But after all that, so you have 14 minutes to do all that, change, and then go on 4-mile run, and then finish with 6 chin-ups.
It doesn't sound as tough as the regular assessment prior to this one. I always thought that was much harder than this.
Didn't you ever do? Did you ever do an obstacle course where you didn't rest? You didn't do the obstacle and then rest for the next one, but you did it continuously.
I was a security forces. Of course, I did a friggin' obstacle course without resting.
Okay, wait. The obstacle course Marty's not talking about, or he's not talking about pulling up side to side so you could bullshit in a parking lot. Okay,
I'm not talking about that one either.
No. Hey,
the actually one I ran was the Marine Corps down at frickin' Paris Island.
All right, fair enough.
The one at Fort Benning, I ran the Ranger course where you had to frickin'
crawl
on top of the cable, then flip over, and then drop in the frickin' lake. And
did you slap the sign before you fell in? Did they let you do that?
They didn't let us do that.
They didn't do that.
So you're doing a half mile right off the bat, dropping, doing push-ups.
Right.
Doing
then a sprint.
Like basically sprint to straightaway.
Right.
The sandbag lift, that's what, 5'7"?
Yeah.
That's 68
68,
inches.
that's 5'8". That's 5'8".
5'8".
That's me. Yeah. So put a sandbag on my head 40 or 16 times. Right.
16 times? That
yeah.
And then just go farmer's carries for half the
40
straightaway.
Pounds. Yeah.
Farmer carry or move. I don't know what a movement drill.
Well, it's probably like
it's like movement of contact. Yeah, yeah. So let me tell you something. On some of my workouts, every other morning when I'm doing core, I do this thing, halos, with a freaking 35 or 40 pound freaking kettlebell where I circle it around my head and then come back the other way.
Right.
So I do that 12 times. So I don't see the 40 pound bag being that big of a deal.
Well,
really
no,
don't.
I'm
but
waiting.
on
Why-
top
hey,
of everything else, it's cumulative.
Eric,
That's why I
why-
asked. So, like an obstacle course is cumulative. After
Jake,
a while,
you're gonna tell me why don't I go run it? Well, I'll go
Yeah,
run
dude,
it.
I'm interested in it. Honestly,
I ain't gonna finish in 14 minutes though.
Fuck, no, that's the thing. I'm
and then 4-mile run at 8-minute miles. So
Yeah, it's not gonna
that's
happen.
moving too.
Yeah, I could.
Anna, did you ever do an obstacle course?
Yes.
Okay,
It was
thanks.
yes, and
Yes, we don't want to talk about that.
I fell in
Marty
the water.
gave you dead air. You
It's-
fucking wasted it.
I gave her an
I
opportunity.
totally
She gave
fell
me
in the
back
water. I fell in the water.
Where'd you do it at?
So I told
Basic
you.
training.
Y'all didn't.
Basic training.
Oh yeah, basic.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess. But I thought they did like an obstacle, and then you kind of walk to the next one, then you kind of walk to the next one.
Not 1995.
Oh
Not
yeah,
back in
you
the
were running
day.
through it. Nice.
Or 1981. I didn't either.
Yeah. I'm sure ours
Well,
was
I
a
guess we
little
all got a bunch of pre-rangers on this show. Let's go, baby.
My
Bam.
tab. My
Let's
Ranger tab.
Go.
Do not include me in that bullshit. I am not playing this bullshit game.
I ain't running no more. No way.
Oh, my
That
goodness.
sounds interesting, but honestly,
But
I-
that's-
like I said, I'm just kind of curious as to prior assessment. The requirements were no joke, even if it's just a regular push-up and stuff like that.
Sure.
To me, this sounds doable compared to a guy who can do what he was doing prior assessment.
I like that philosophy because the straight fit test is mostly on your run. That's where you're going to distinguish yourselves because you're going to max your push-ups, you're going to max your sit-ups. You'll probably do enough pull-ups, but the difference is
I can't even do a pull-up.
the difference is those guys who can hit 6.5 minute miles versus the guys who's running 8 minute miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you guys
Not a girl.
flex arm
Don't
hang.
pull and a
Female
pull.
Rangers.
yeah. I remember the presidential assessment back in the
There
high
you
school
go.
and elementary school. The girls had you had to do a flex.
A flex hang.
Oh, a flex hang.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, go. Instant. 2 seconds, nice.
Good job.
And you know who
The
those
president
girls grow
says
up?
that's okay.
You know who those girls grow up to be? They grow up to be every female in those videos who are swinging on the rope swing, and they go, and it pulls them tight, and they let go, and they go ass over tea kettle, right?
Just straight to the dirt.
As soon as it tightens up, they're like,
Oh my god.
and they're like, oh, you didn't get the presidential badge on the flex arm. That's your problem.
You can't hold on.
Plus, you're drunk as shit. So.
Bless your heart.
Anna gets up there and she's like, I knew this would pay off. Today's the day, Mr. President. Today's the day.
Oh,
Rope swing.
that's too much.
Look at
I will
me.
not let you down.
Whee!
Oh,
Run back
beautiful
into the
arch.
tree because I'm too scared to let go.
Every time. I don't know why they think they can do that. Every time. Anyway. All right. Let's close this last story out with this concept that the Army, again, we're back to the Army. Concept. And just think of this concept and apply it to your own career, how different it may have been. So from stripes.com comes this story. Proposal to tie soldiers' promotions more to job proficiency is floated by the Army's top enlisted leader. All right, so just think how different your career may have been.
Hell no. It's not going to be
They
any
have
different.
to work.
It
People
could have
get-
been.
No, people get stomped on. And then it becomes, I did all the work because I'm a good, liar. You know what I mean?
Liar.
They are. They always take credit for stuff that they didn't do.
Well, that's
happens all the
true.
time in the
But
military.
listen to what his point is. The Army's top enlisted leader said this week that he wants to overhaul how soldiers are promoted by making military skill set tests the driving factor in who advances in rank. Sergeant Major of the Army Michael Weimer said Wednesday that there is consensus on a senior enlisted council that tests must be developed to measure soldiers' effectiveness in the respective military specialties. Now listen to what he says. God damn it. Listen to what Sergeant Major Weimer said. He said, "quote I'm gonna get through this. I do it, and see if I can get through it. The number one thing we should be basing promotions on is how good you are at your current job," Weimer said during an association of the U.S. Army conference in Huntsville, Alabama. He said, "Call me crazy, but that's not where we're at right now."
No, it's not.
Pushing on. Currently, too many other factors are given disproportionate weight in the process, he said. What's more important, 60 credit hours of online self-study from your online university or the data point of how good you are at your current job? Weimer asked the conference audience. I think we know the answer to that, he said.
Both.
No.
Say it, Weimer. Say it.
Oh, do we now? Okay, Weimer.
Weimer.
I would love it if we got a bunch of Army guys. It's like, hey, he's a Sergeant Major of the Army. You don't talk like that about Sergeant Major Weimer. If put into effect, the changes would be a major adjustment in how Army enlisted troops rise through the ranks. Weimer said the goal is to present the promotion concept to Army leaders in early 2026, but he didn't say how fast the program could be rolled out. Under current practice, soldier advancements up to the rank of specialist are mostly based on time and service. For soldiers to take the next step into the non-commissioned officer ranks, there is a point-based system that considers various factors such as military and civilian education. How many
you have how many domestic violence charges you have?
I couldn't think of the damn Habitat for Humanity trips that you've been on.
Oh, yeah.
And you went domestic violence. Way to go.
That's because that's an Army hobby. Don't play it.
Well, it doesn't
Guys smacking their
There's
old
no
ladies,
points
man.
in it. That's true.
They should do the dishes.
Oh, you can't.
I'm just joking. I'm totally that joking.
Out of control.
You know those dependopotamuses when they get all feisty. Nothing calms them down like a good smack.
You're going to have so many Army guys not freaking being promoted past private, and they're terminated for high year of tenure because they never made freaking anything above private.
Well, I tell you, one of the things the Army had when every first sergeant in the artillery, because there's such a low rate of cross training in the Army, it's not as prevalent as in the Air Force. Right. So you got a first sergeant, and he's been doing artillery for like 15, 18 years, right? He knows the gun inside out. He knows all the tricks of the trade. Look at space. Space is cross-training central, baby.
Dude.
True.
I mean, my God. We had every AFSC cross-train into space.
Yeah.
You know. So that's a little bit different. But it would be nice to go, oh, you're up for senior or master. Let's see how good you really are at your job. When was the last time you pulled a shift? And you're like, I've been on staff job. I haven't been out there pulling shifts, you know. I mean, I don't know. How would it be for security forces? How would you do? Well, you stayed in security forces your whole career, right?
Yeah. There was a piece of this. So the guy who was in the field doing the job was actually QC'd. He had to pass a quality control evaluation, right? And if you failed that, you were pulled from your position and moved down. So,
fair.
I mean, for instance, I was QC'd on flight sergeant. So we had to set up a hazmat exercise where I had to freaking set up a cordon, a 2-mile cordon. And where's my entry control point going to be? And where is the wind blowing? Is it downwind?
Right, fair enough. Yeah.
And I was being evaluated the whole time. So it was a written, practical, and an oral. Yeah. So if you didn't pass all three of those sections, you failed. Oral was never that
we
good.
know which
Trust
one
me,
you
oral
passed.
was never that good.
What were you doing
Fucking
orally?
knew it. I
Like
knew it.
giving instructions?
Okay, Anna, don't ask that
Yeah,
question.
so
Don't
it was-
scratch the
it was-
surface.
It was a Q&A. Questions.
Yeah,
Q&A,
questions.
Questions.
Yeah.
Like response type
Yes.
Was it?
questions.
Well, receiving questions,
You know what?
giving
Being asked of questions,
oral, receiving
giving
oral.
responses.
What?
Yikes! I'm glad it never went that way. Never.
But you know,
Never.
part of that is, I mean, it seems like to get to those ranks, a lot of people are cross training out of their original AFSC, right?
Well, yeah.
I mean, now Anna, you made E7 in your original AFSC, right?
I did.
So, and you knew, I know she knew every effing thing about HR. So, I mean, she was really good at it. I do got to give you credit for that. She was annoying at it because she was.
I was super
good at
annoyed at it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't very nice about it either. That's okay.
No,
Just
that's true.
listen.
But it would be nice to compete just about how good you are in your job. Problem is with space, everybody cross-trained in, and the higher you went, the less shifts you pulled, essentially.
So the less knowledge you gained, right?
Exactly.
But-
right.
But
You
also,
stop learning.
a lot of the times those higher ranked guys would have PCS'd into a whole new area,
Right.
right? So you might had come up doing missile warning, doing other things like teaching or whatever, and then you make rank, you make master, and now they're like, oh, go to one SOPs or go to one of the SOPs
Sure.
because you've never had that experience. That's a whole different world,
Yeah, absolutely.
right? You're,
Yeah. it
you're
really
looking at
is.
missile warning like freaking 30 seconds and people are not getting the alarms or getting comms down to sending commands once
Right.
a shift. You know,
Well, and in all fairness, too, the old crew floor, you had a master sergeant who was the flight chief.
yep.
And that was cool. That was a leadership position, administrative position, but you also had to know your job too. So that was a cool setup. Now, I would be surprised if you find a tech sergeant on the Sibbers floor.
Really?
Really?
It is crazy
shit.
out there.
So it's
Are
all
they that
contractors?
No, it's just lower ranking guys.
They need
These
to make
guys-
crew cool again. Honestly,
I think
that's
you're
the
going to.
problem.
I think it's going to result in the fact that you're not going to get a lot of potential to move forward.
Well, there
Because
is
the
that.
guy-
Yeah, there is.
You know, I mean, we had airmen who, for instance, when I was a Stinger guy, we had a staff sergeant that was required to be at a scope looking for bad airplanes, right? So that position was served just for staff sergeant. Well, if we had some really high speed senior airman that we thought, or a buck sergeant back in the day, that could do the job, we could, submit their name to the quality control section. They'd come out and evaluate, doing exactly what I was talking about earlier, practical, written, and oral, and say, yeah, we think he's good enough to do the job. I don't think you'll get that anymore. That
No.
senior airman,
Yeah, you're probably right.
I
Yeah.
think he's held back.
Yeah, sure. And I mean, the old
I don't want no
days of-
competition up there with me.
and all you need is another riff or whatever when they're like, oh, we got to force retrain you. You're going somewhere, right?
Yeah.
You're not staying in this anymore. So it may not work in the Air Force, but I totally get the Army's point of view. You get some people who go out recruiting or whatever, they make rank and then they come back into the career field. And you're supposed to be the expert, but you've been out of it for years.
Right? We did that article, right? Army was literally, we'll give you a promotion right now, and you'll get a promotion as soon as you leave.
Right.
If you're a good boy. And that was it. That's the stipulations.
That's
Bunch
right.
of crap, too.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway,
But somebody's got to do it, and nobody's going to do it. So they have to incentivize it.
they do.
Say that again.
Especially because
Somebody's
those guys
gotta
are
do it.
largely
Nobody's going to do
self-leader.
it.
I
Yeah.
think it's going to make a toxic environment.
But I also hate the Airman of the Quarter, NCO of the Year because
that you
they've
have to put somebody in. So stupid.
not only that, but
I hate that.
I've seen it where it's been gamed, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You need to go volunteer.
Hey, we're choosing you, Senior Airman Dominguez to be. You're going to be Airman of the Quarter. So we need you to go do your Habitat for Humanity. We need to do some classes.
Yeah.
We need to do some volunteer work. And oh yeah, don't fail your eval. And then so your job becomes last for
That's
those
true.
award winners. You
That's
know what I
true.
mean? And I've seen that too. I've seen people win awards who were DNF, who couldn't even work shift.
Yeah,
And you're like, why are you giving this guy an award? He can't even get his ass out there. So
Maybe he
that
got
would
it
be
on
nice
the
to
job.
eliminate that shit. That would be nice. So
The downfalls.
yeah, well. All right, Eric. Besides side-to-side car parking, why don't you take us through military history?
Yeah.
Anna, I promise that we haven't talked about this one.
Okay, thanks. I am so sorry.
That was
I
so
saw-
good. She was like, "Did you do the beginning of the war
Wanted to
last
make
time?"
sure we didn't do this. Okay, so this
Jake's
one's going to hit
like-
close to home, boys and
All
girls.
right, all right.
Close to home.
Oh,
So,
shout
Air
out
Force
to Sisters
Academy.
Oregon.
the United States Air Force Academy was established on April 1st,
Ooh.
1954. The
And it's
culmination
been a joke ever since.
Oh,
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
That's
April
harsh,
Fools.
man.
It was
April
prime. April
Fools.
Fools, man.
So this was the culmination of an idea years in the making. Air power leaders, long before the Air Force was a separate service, argued that they needed a school dedicated to war in the air to train airmen. After September of 47, when the Air Force was established as a separate service, this idea finally had the legitimacy of the new service behind it.
nice.
Wow.
Right? Pretty cool. So in 48, Air Force appointed a board, later named the Stearns-Eisenhower Board, because for its chairman to study existing, it was Eisenhower, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in July of 55, the same year construction on the academy began in Colorado Springs, the first class of 306 men was sworn in at a Tipperary flight down at Lowry Air Force Base in Denver. This is the guy they brought back. Lieutenant General Hubert Harmon, a key figure in the development of early plans for the academy, was recalled from retirement by President
Whoa.
Dwight Eisenhower to become the first academy superintendent.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So a lot of history between 1954 and all the way up. So that thing took a little while to be built. It was funny though. Colorado Springs actually paid $1 million
Huh.
because the state wanted it to be in Colorado, contributed $1 million for the purchase of the land. Pretty cool.
Ah, very cool.
I wonder
Sure.
how that decision came
Beautiful
for
land.
Colorado. Was there bids? I mean, I wonder if they were like, "Oh, have it in my state." No, have it in my state.
I'm sure there was. It was part of this Stearns-Eisenhower board for its chairman to study,
Yeah.
to study existing military academies and the options for the Air Force Academy. Their conclusions were strongly put. The Air Force needed its own school. They additionally recommended at least 40% of future officers to be service academy graduates.
Oh.
The search began in 48, looking for the appropriate place, and Colorado Springs was one of them.
What do you
Huh.
think
So-
that today's ratio is? You think it's 40% today?
For
And
pilots,
the officers,
Oh, those? Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Yeah, that's a good call. I don't know.
yeah,
I bet you're not nowhere near 40%.
They can't. That's a lot of pilots, man.
yeah,
don't
I
even
don't
It's
have
a
that
lot
many
of
planes.
like academy grads, period.
Well, there's what roughly there. I mean, for West Point, there's about 1,000. I think that's a rough number for 1,000 cadets out of West Point, 1,000 out of Annapolis. I guess it's 1,000 for Air Force. I don't know.
You know what's pretty cool though is how the Navy and West Point, Annapolis and West Point have such a history
Of course,
behind their.
yeah.
I mean, we celebrated 50 years in 2014
Right
for the
right.
academy,
Yeah.
so that's really a short period and nothing compared to those two academies.
Wait till Space Force Academy gets going, man.
Oh boy,
Imagine
Hell
their
yeah.
football team. Oh,
Yeah.
they're gonna outplan the shit out of them. Trust me.
Our lines are going to be thick. The O lines and the E. And the
Oh
D.
yeah, yeah. There's no physical requirements. Those guys
No,
are gonna be
man.
immovable.
They have a watch that tracks everything.
Oh, yeah. That's a good call. Well, then never mind. They're going to be wafer thin.
Let me talk to
Yeah, they can be
AI.
that too. Yeah.
Because they'll be on semaglutide.
their virtual teams will be unstoppable. Though. Their virtual teams.
Yeah, because they're too busy gaming at their consoles.
Their esports
keeping
teams.
you safe. Thank you very much.
You're
I don't
welcome.
feel safe. I don't feel safe.
Wait.
I
Do
feel
we
more
have
safe with those 2 Air Force female cops at the bottom of the stairs.
Eric, do you feel safe in your home? Are you okay?
I own my own
Oh,
gun.
yeah. That's a VA
Are you
question.
sassing off to the old lady? Do you
Yeah, that's
potentially
true.
deserve it?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, I'm a good boy.
All right.
Is your basement painted yet?
Check it out,
That's not
man.
a question.
Yeah, look at that.
Good,
Okay.
man.
Is it
It's
done
looking
now? Is it the floors in, floorboards in?
Floors in.
Cool.
The only thing that's going to come next is the carpet. We're done.
Oh,
That's
I thought
why
you
he
haven't
earned
done
his
it
trip to Spain.
No,
yet. Oh,
You
okay.
get that
That's
basement
right.
done. You can be a
Carpet
good boy
goes
and
in
go
on
to
the
Spain with
18th
me.
of April, and I leave the 22nd.
Yeah, see?
Ooh.
Woohoo!
Going to Barcelona.
Oh, God.
Gonna eat some gelato.
So
Lots
jealous
of it.
Your life. It's crazy.
Oh wait, that's the time.
Tapas.
That's
That's
the
it.
time. I'm going there too, though, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Tapas
God.
and a lot of wine.
Tapas.
A little bit of sangria and fish bowls.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was wearing a
Don't worry, Marty. Pueblo's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's the
boat
east side
ride.
of Pueblo. So
on the
This
river.
river walk
river
has
walk.
really come a long ways. Huh?
it's almost a
They
foot
really
of water
cleaned
in
up
that
the
ditch.
graffiti. Not a lot of graffiti anymore.
Yeah, that's what you get, listeners. If you don't manage your money, that's what you get. So, my retirement, his retirement.
Don't get divorced.
Well, yeah, there is that too.
Biggie.
That
That was
costs
a
a
big.
lot. Yeah,
That was
that
hard to
costs-
recover from.
I like how Anna's the one telling us about that. Dude, don't ever get
No.
divorced. Don't
No,
even do it.
get divorced.
Stay.
No
It is a
winners
second.
there, man. No
Yeah.
winners there.
Well,
It's okay.
we are a divorce quad here, so that's
Oh, nice.
a
Congrats.
dubious honor, if you will.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I think that's
Well,
just a
you're
military
welcome.
tradition.
well, it is usually.
It's a
Yeah,
military.
yeah.
It's a requirement.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
get the-
how many senior NCOs do you know that have not gotten divorced?
Yeah,
Not
good point.
many. Not
Yeah,
many.
that's a good point.
Huh,
No,
that's a
not
good
many.
point.
Not many at all. Military people.
Well, I know one or two, but he's a Mormon, so.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the ones.
Yeah.
Well, and he's got three.
Or the
wives. Or
hardcore
is that the wrong
Catholics
one?
with
I can't
7
remember.
kids.
he doesn't have to be wives.
Devoted.
I always get those confused. So
Yeah.
anyway. Now that we've pissed off religion, women, everything else,
Army.
and the
Army.
Sergeant Major of the Army, Wyman.
Yeah.
So he'll be calling. Shut up.
I guess we're not going to be promoted on merit tonight.
I guess we'll have to call it in depth now. And then
These are whiny pants. Anna loves
I gotta Google this guy now. I gotta
Anna
see
would
a
love
picture
that
of
one.
it.
She's going to bring up a picture of him. Show me Sergeant Major.
These are my whiny pants. These are my whiny pants.
Well, let's hope our audience
Didn't make it this far.
I don't know. They didn't make it this far. Don't worry. On behalf of all of us here, I'd like to thank you for listening today. Please like, share, and subscribe, and let us know how we did in the comments. And make sure next week that you are not.
No,
Damn
come
it.
on, man.
I know.
Yeah.
So not
Late
on
for changeover.
Not the other one then. Nothing's working.
It's going to
Make
be
sure
all of
you are
us.
not late
Late for
for
Oh, I already did it. I already did it. Late for changeover. You're good.
Oh, let's do it.
all you unpaid employees, thanks for the week. And thanks to everyone listening and watching, and we'll see you next week.